Hello, Void Dwellers. I don't know about you, but I stopped using Google search in the last few months. Instead, I now mainly use the paid search engine Kagi, weird name by the way, or other options like DuckDuckGo or Brave or even Bing to get better results. The reason is that half of the time, Google would simply not give me what I'm looking for, especially if I'm looking for scientific or accurate information. And if I'm looking for an answer to a problem I have in my work as a developer, I would probably just turn to an AI assistant rather than Googling the answer. An AI that has the context of what I'm working on and can just suggest the immediate solution. So there are very few scenarios in which I feel the need to use Google search. Because the algorithm is so sales and ads oriented now that aside from shopping, it just doesn't give you what you're looking for. What I mean is, if I want to find out what's the price range of something I'd like to buy, I'd use Google as a price comparison tool. Because you get in the first line links to many sellers. Funded links, I might add. These are not search results, these are ads. But if I'm looking to buy a sofa, these ads do act as kind of a benchmark of what I would need to pay for what I'm looking for, so that is convenient. But for everything else, Google is pretty trash right now. Trying to find basic things like instructions on how to build something I bought, the user manual of a product I have misplaced, an answer to a scientific or medical question, a historical event and its political influences, real things that you might want to find, you'd have to scroll down at least 3 or 4 pages before you find relevant results that are not ads or YouTube videos. And that's another thing, by the way. Google used to be a place where you could get very straightforward answers. Like if you're gaming and you're stuck on some level, you used to be able to just type in the name of the game, the level and where you are stuck, and the first or second result would be exactly what you're looking for in simple text, just like go to the second floor or use this thing in your inventory. Simple. Now, if you're looking for something like that, you'll get tons of video results from YouTube showing you the entire level with no specific context. Have fun going through this 40 minutes or longer video to find the one thing you are stuck on. And why do they do that? Because YouTube is Google. And when you watch a video on YouTube, you make Google money. So of course they want to push you into using their products. So the Google search engine is now basically a glorified ads machine. It's basically a show me ads that centered around this subject engine. And furthermore, because Google's main business is to sell ad spots and crowd targeting to advertisers, and since they got you so hooked into their entire ecosystem of products, from their search engine to Gmail to the very website you're on right now watching this very video, they track your information and sell it to the advertisers who then pay Google to show you ads that Google told them based on that information they harvested from you would work best on you. Now, unlike the way some people online like to present it, this is not as Big Brother as it seems. People seem to have this idea that Google has a personal file on each and every one of us and can tell detailed information about our daily lives. And they are mostly wrong. And what I mean by mostly is that it would be pointless to monitor millions of people like that, not to mention more expensive than profitable. But Google can deduce a profile on you by analyzing your usage of the products. See, the thing is, Google doesn't have a camera and mic pointed at you at all times. You're not on the Truman Show. That would be an insane thing to do to millions and millions of people and technologically impossible. But you do have an account. And that account can save very simple, mostly text-based data about you. And that data can be used to deduce a lot of things. Because all humans follow patterns. No matter how unique you think you are, you're not. Neither am I. We are all biological machines programmed to follow patterns. And therefore, we are predictable. It's basically the way charlatans use cold reading throughout the ages to convince people that they have superpowers. For example, Google knows your location because you are probably using the web without a VPN. And even most people who do use VPN would automatically connect to a server in their location for a fast connection. So Google doesn't know your home address unless you provide them with it, and many people do, including me. But even if you don't, they don't need it. They know your city and they know your country. Statistically speaking, that is what matters. From other tidbits of data you gave them, they probably know your approximate age, or your exact age even. They probably know if you're male or female or anything in between. And then let's say you search for a hotel room in July in the south of France. They can take all of that information and deduce what kind of ads would probably work best on someone from your region, in your age group and gender, who is looking to vacationing in the south of France in July. And the statistics they have go beyond just things that are relevant to the actual search. You might be thinking, well, I'm going to get ads for sunscreens and sunglasses and bathing suits or whatever. And yeah, you probably will. But then you'd also see ads for TV shows and music and food that you'd find appealing. All based on that. Because believe it or not, as much as we'd like the delusion of being a unique snowflake, we all just follow patterns. And the truth is that if you're in your early 20s and you're male and you're going to the south of France in July and you are from a specific area of the world, there is a high probability that you also like a specific type of entertainment and specific types of foods. And advertising it to you would have greater success in convincing you to buy the product. That's the real secret of the online advertising and data selling businesses. People like to say, you are the product. No. Your pattern, your predictability as a human, your slavery to your biology, that is the product. That is what makes this whole thing possible. But it does seem to get a bit out of hand, and people like me are sick of it and are looking for alternatives. Because I would be willing to pay for a proper search engine that actually helps me find what I'm looking for, instead of trying to sell me crap that I don't need to begin with. And like I said, I am not a snowflake either. I follow patterns just like everyone else, which means that there are many others out there who feel exactly like me. People who are over that everything online is free for ads model and are willing to pay to get good services that are not centered around ads. And of course, there are those who like that too, but won't be able to afford it. And so, we are now on the precipice of a class-divided internet. It's already here. It's already started. There are already paid services out there. Hell, even Twitter now has a no ads premium plus option. But it would become more and more common, and the divide would become more and more significant. And I believe this would become a standard in every aspect of the digital life. For example, in video games, which are becoming more and more expensive. A new AAA video game these days could sell for anything from £60 or dollars to £90 or dollars. Insane prices. And of course, the people who can't afford those prices wait for sales or for the game to get onto a subscription service in a couple of years. I know, because I used to be one of those people, even before the age of Steam and other online digital stores. I used to hunt for old games in the sales bins in computer stores, because you can find their games that are 3 or 4 years old for just a fraction of the price they were on release. But now times are different and the business models have to adapt. I am positive that in the future we'll see all games come out in 2 versions. One free or very cheap that requires an online connection to play and would display ads between levels or even on top of your game, like those annoying previews you used to see on TV. And a second, more expensive deluxe version, which would allow you to play offline and would be ads free. As both a programmer and a gamer, I am absolutely sure that's where we're going. And I don't consider any of it necessarily bad, by the way. I kinda like the idea of more options. When I was a kid and poor, if you told me I could play a AAA game when it came out and all I have to do is endure a bit of ads shoved into it, I'd be delighted. What does worry me about all of this is that we're repeating our human pattern of creating classes. The internet used to be this ideal place where that doesn't happen anymore. It doesn't matter if you're on minimum wage or a billionaire, we all Google the same. Well, not anymore. Google is about to become the poor man's search engine. And having your entire ecosystem or software made up of paid ads-free services would become a status symbol that would once again differentiate between people. Now, I don't have a solution for that. I'm just not sure going back to our old habits is the best thing in the world for us. Of course, it might be that we can't really release ourselves from those habits, that a class-defined society is just part of our genetic makeup, a biological inclination of our species that we cannot break. So maybe the best approach would be to embrace it and try to make the best out of it.